So I'll go on. This is a Stellarium astronomy program. I'm looking at the Taurus constellation right here. This is Orion. The belt, the Orion's belt, is a common known constellation in the sky. This is the Taurus. Um, these two have always stood out to me more than any other constellation that just general common knowledge. Um, these are these two have always stood out to me throughout my life for whatever reason. Orion, especially with the Orion's belt. Um, it sounded like my name, Ryan. So I've always focused on this constellation more than any other. And here's the Taurus. These two are connected. Orion is, defending against the bull, or the bull's rushing toward Orion. So these two are interconnected together. Here is Venus, the bright and morning star, moving through the sky at night. So April 2012, April 3rd, you can zoom in, you can see it passing over the Pleiades. This is the seven stars. Yeah, that's the sign in the book of Revelations, the seven stars, representing the seven churches and the mystery of the symbol of the mystery of God being revealed in the book of Revelation. Jesus is called the bright and morning star, or the planet Venus, and he says he's in the midst of the seven stars. So we can see this slowly moving toward the midst of the seven stars. So here's 2020. It's going to be moving a little closer toward the middle, and the middle would say is about right here. Just in a general roundabout idea of area of the middle, the center or the middle would be about right here. So here it is in 2028. 2026, 2036. It's just right around the middle. 2044, April 4th. It's literally right in the center of these seven stars. So in this general area of time, April 3rd, 2028, April 3rd, 2036, and April 4th, 2044. That's when it's really moving, passing through the center of the seven stars. The 2044 date is very unique. It's interesting that it's the 4444 happens to be the date that the um, the planet Venus is passing right into the midst of the seven stars, as Jesus says. The 44 comes up a lot in the 144,000, etc. So you have the 44 and then the 44. That's an interesting, just an interesting factor that just they say God doesn't work and there are no coincidences in God. I mean, God has aligned the stars for this very reason. Um, in the whole throughout the entire Bible, alignments have been present when Jesus was born, for example, and the wise men left at an exact precise time, and they ended up talking to Herod at the exact precise time, which led to Herod trying to stop the baby Jesus. The whole entire story is really um, formed, in this synchronicity with the stars. It's just mind-blowing alignments, and really mind blowing that these alignments in the stars have affected movements on Earth of people. Um, the wise men showing up to see the baby Jesus and to give the gifts. So the birthday of um, Christ was celebrated, partly because of the stars. God has always used the stars to show His signs. So and then it goes to 2052, and then 20 finally 2060, where it kind of fades out a little bit, and then after that it's no longer in the seven stars. So it's passing through the seven stars, as Jesus says in the Revelation, I will light the seven candles and pass through the seven stars. I hold the seven stars in the midst of my right hand, and in the midst of the seven stars, I am the one walking in the midst of the seven stars, lighting the seven candles. So he's talking about Venus, illuminating through the seven stars in this pattern. Venus forms this pattern as it's moving across the sky, illuminating these stars. This is absolutely an alignment, a marked exact calendar date, an alignment of time, 1996 to 2060. This is a precise generational period, um, where we are unlocking the secrets of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, the mysteries of God, the mystery of time. This period has been the development of string theory, for example, in 1996, where the string theory was proposed, and information was put forward for the absolute solution of the mystery of heaven and earth, the mystery of God, the mystery of quantum physics, the mystery of the unified field theory. This is no coincidence that this time period is exact within this bubble of this window of the mystery of the seven stars, and the mystery being revealed to mankind through God to all of mankind. I personally think it represents the Tao as well. I believe the Tao represents the mystery, the wellspring in the midst of the seven stars, pushing outward. So you have the wellspring in the midst of the seven stars, the bright morning star in the midst of the seven stars. That's the symbol of the illumination of the wellspring, the understanding of the wellspring, illuminating us and illuminating mankind, and illuminating the universe, illuminating the 7 days of creation, the seven stars. The eighth day, the light of Venus shining through the seven stars, illuminating, and bringing that ultimate light of the whole universe, which is the universal oneness of the Tao, of the wellspring merging into with all of creation all at once. So the removal of space and time, the absolute understanding of this glory of God, the tangible presence of the glory of God, which it has always been, it will always be, was and is to come. Has always been there, is there right now, and is coming, is always and will always be there in the future. So you're merging past, present, and future into one, merging all of the 7 days of creation into one singular point. The week becomes the one singular day. So you take the 7 days, Sunday through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, bend those into one thing. You get the 8, you get the loop, you get the constant, you get the 8th day, that's the entire infinity symbol is an 8 on its side. These are just very interesting factors that really spoke to me and speak through me, through the wellspring, through the symbol of the seven stars, and Venus, the bright and morning star. The 8th symbol, you have the seven stars, you have the Pleaides, you have the seven churches, and then you have Jesus, the bright and morning star, illuminating the seven. Just as Jesus becomes the light of all creation, it says he is the light, reflected through the Tao, the intangible subtle reality which unites and unifies all things into one. So you have the fluid, 7 days becoming completely fluid. At that point, you have this crystallization process where the being is completely merged with space, with time, in full unification with the all, with the wellspring, with Elohim, Father, Son, Father, Word, and Spirit from the very beginning. So you have the being living in space and time. You have the Father, Word, and Spirit at the very beginning of the universe merging. We have that point merging together as one. So when the being understands Tao and understands the way, understands the wellspring is not separate, distant, or far, but I am as a being am a product of the wellspring 100%, all in all. I'm migrating the wellspring to me, forming that eighth day, that glory of God resting inside of me. So it's not just the rest of the seventh day, the Sabbath, but the uniting of Sunday morning into Saturday evening, Saturday and Sunday, becoming one, looping that back around through the week. So you have the unification of the week, the 7 days, all merging into one singular moment, one singular day, the day of God, the day of uh, the day of Hebrews chapter 4, the day of 1,000 years. It says that for God, one day is of an infinite expanse of time, and in an infinite expanse of time is as one day. So the entire multiverse, the entire universe is one day, as one day, merging into that one singular, constant, all aware presence and being of in unification with God the Father in the wellspring of life, with Jesus Christ sitting at the surface, at the precipice of the right hand of the Father, merging that with the individual being. The being, Jesus says, you can be one with me as I am one with the Father. You can sit in heavenly places. You can sit in the heavenly place, and you don't have to leave your sofa. You know, you can do this where you sit, where you rest. This is um, the throne of heaven can be right here where I am on this office chair and right in front of this desk, and I because I know it and I see it and it's present fully in me, and I'm fully accessing the throne of heaven and the throne of heaven is fully accessing me. Jesus says, "Come into me and sup with me, and I will sup with you. You are one in me as I am one in the Father." The Father is the all creator of heaven and earth. The whole entire thing is one in the Father. Jesus is one in the Father. We are one in Jesus, and therefore we are also one with the Father. We're talking a full unification, full quantum unification of heaven and earth, of the unified field theory, the unified field everything coming into one, into focus, into balance. And it's all written in the stars, in the signs in the stars. We have the symbol and the signs taking place at this precise time. This alignment occurs every 235 years. It's occurred 9 times since 135 AD. Somewhere around there. I don't have the exact date offhand, but around 135 AD, I want to say. I'm not entirely positive on that, but there's Venus right there, so we have to back it up. There we go. It jumps around. The dates decrease, so as you go in past the point in the year decreases. So you have this is around March 15th, and we'll see it jump around. There it is. So as we can see, Taurus, there it is right in the middle of the Pleiades. There it is, 132 AD, forming this beautiful, bright, conjunction. There's the 7 stars, and there's Venus right in the midst of the 7 stars, 132 AD. Right around the exact time period that John wrote those 7 letters. John wrote the letters in 95 AD as the star was beginning to move toward the 7 stars. So John writes in the form of a metaphorical unification with what's happening in heaven on earth as it is in heaven. Again, the stars are aligning as John is writing and sending the 7 letters in time, as he's talking about the bright morning star aligning with the seven stars, we see it happening in the sky at the very same time. So we jump back to 96 AD. There it is in 108. There it is in 100. And John wrote the letters around this time period. I would suspect 92 AD or even 100 AD. But again, there's some debated dates as to when John wrote the seven letters. I suspect 92 AD. I suspect he was seeing these actual signs in the sky. That's what he says. He says, yeah, he says he's looked into the heavens and he saw these signs. He saw the bright morning star approaching the seven stars. So here is the alignment happening. As we can see it, zoom in and see 92 AD. John writes the seven letters. Venus begins its trek toward the midst of the seven stars in 132. We can just type that right in, and there it is, right there, right in the midst of the seven stars, forming a conjunction alignment.